neatly navigating those neural networks to nudge the knowledge net wider. It's Accountech Bytes, rounding up the week in accounting technology with me, Tom Herbert. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, if you'd be kind enough to like, subscribe, or follow, I'd be eternally grateful. Let's get straight into the news. And we start with this from Stephen Foley in the FT. Our Big Four firm PwC is the latest firm to be caught using AI to produce slapdash work, while at the same time purporting to be an expert in the technology. So researchers at Hallucination Hunters GPT-0 found hallucinations in PwC's thought leadership reports on subjects as broad as AI and electric vehicles were riddled with fake footnotes, misattributed claims, and unverified information. So many of the citations in the reports are problematic, often linking to web pages that don't contain the evidence they purport to, and some that just don't exist. While a teenage blogger with 280 followers is cited as a real-world success story in terms of agentic AI. Another footnote kind of gives the game away by including ChatGPT in the source link. PwC says it's updating a limited number of the supporting citations, but as with EY, KPMG, and all the other firms who've been caught, if you're going to sell services based on your AI expertise, you better learn how to use it. This week, we've seen a draft statement to the accounting profession on the ethical use of AI from the CCAB Ethics Group. Who the CCAB? Well, of course, it's ICAW, ACCA, ICAS, CIPFA, and Chartered Accountants Ireland. It's the usual flannel: significant potential opportunities, ethical risks, algorithmic bias, data privacy and confidentiality, hallucination, black box thinking, and a call to exercise a rigorous professional judgment. What I really like are the draft AI case studies included in the statement. So made-up scenarios intended to highlight these potential ethical dilemmas that accountants might face when using AI in their day-to-day work. So it's things like you're the CFO of a medium-sized manufacturing company, and the big boss has asked you to prepare a draft 3-year strategy and 1-year business plan in a limited timescale. Or you're a partner in a mid-sized accounting firm that recently invested in an AI-powered audit platform. The tool hasn't quite hit the mark, and you're not quite sure how to explain it. I really like these working case studies because I think they really help move the conversation along from the theoretical to the practical. ICAW, one of the members of CCAB, has released a couple of use cases for agentic AI, which in some circumstances can reduce pressure on finance teams. So things like supplier invoice verification, categorizing transactions, ensuring the month end is closed, and detecting long-term issues, such as inefficiencies like cost leakages. Bleeping Computer reports that Big Four firm EY has suffered a data breach from an extortion gang calling themselves Shiny Hunters. So according to an EY disclosure, a third-party support ticket system used by its IT personnel was compromised, and support tickets that may contain client tax information were stolen. So this is back in March, April of this year. EY hasn't disclosed the name of the support system, what was exposed, or how many clients were potentially affected. EY says it secured its systems, removed the unauthorized access, and notified the relevant law enforcement. Although, according to CFO Dive, this hasn't stopped them being hit with a proposed class action lawsuit over this data breach. So the suit filed in New York asserts that the affected individuals face risks such as identity theft and tax fraud. Now, we've covered the agent services account multi-factor authentication changes thoroughly on these videos, but just a reminder for any agents who haven't done it, the latest deadline to request that be switched on is midnight on Friday, so when this is released tomorrow. According to this release, more than 8,000 agents have already requested activation, and from the sounds of it, it's gone relatively smoothly. Interesting update from 9to5Mac here that says code found in the beta testing for the upcoming release of the iOS 27 operating system suggests that anyone who is leasing their device and misses a payment on that lease, find their access restricted, including the ability to restrict apps and services while keeping a small set of apps available, such as messages, home, and certain medication and safety apps. Well, that's good of them. I feel like in the UK, this type of thing wouldn't be possible at the moment because lease hire purchase regulations are quite strict. But in the US, I guess anything goes. Cashflow Staffology and now Sodium founder Dwayne Jackson asks, who owns the data you're collating in your practice management software? Well, you might say you own it. If there isn't a practical way you can pick up that data and take it somewhere else, you might as well not own it. Now, as the owner of a practice management software, Dwayne has something to sell you. But personally, I think the ability to connect to the storage provider of your choice and take your files with you, well, it should be table stakes. Sadly, isn't in the world of accounting. Let's head over to MTD Corner now, where we have about a week and a half before the deadline for the first quarterly submission is due. But accounting firm owner Samantha Mitchum has flagged a software blind spot that could create a year-end headache for firms when April 2027 rolls around. So there are more than 100 software vendors on HMRC's MTD list, and some of the more simplified, entry-level, bank-based MTD products lack a suitable place to record transactions that are excluded from those quarterly updates but are still needed for the annual tax return, leaving accountants doing the year-end work, either scrabbling around looking for answers or missing things altogether. It's an interesting aspect to MTD, and if you want to read more about it, link in the description. Intuit QuickBooks has released a 90-60-30 Making Tax Digital for Income Tax planner. According to this, it's a personalized roadmap that lays out exactly what a taxpayer needs to do in time for their first quarterly update using MTD for income tax software. Hot on the heels of their chief people officer leaving, Xero has now lost its chief technology officer. So Rick Carragher will leave Xero in early August after serving 16 months as the Kiwi Cloud Pushers CTO. Forbes Australia reports that employees were told his resignation was due to the role's travel demands and difficulty working across multiple time zones. And to finish the people news, Fernando Botella, who masterminded the Intuit QuickBooks Making Tax Digital offering, has now joined Sage as Director of Product Management, where, according to him, he'll continue helping bring AI capabilities to small business and accountants. Congratulations, Ver. Let's get into some product news now, and this one from Accounting Suite Bright. And the Irish developer has flagged a new feature in its BrightBooks platform. So BrightBooks being its cloud accounting system. Anyway, Payments Manager is a new feature within BrightBooks that adds a Pay Now button to your invoices, allowing customers to pay you instantly by card without leaving BrightBooks or needing a separate platform. Fintech platform Apron has announced the ability to pay your bills within QuickBooks through Apron, so you can pay suppliers and employees using your existing bank and cards. And Dex Payments is also coming to QuickBooks Online. So the QuickBooks integration follows the same workflow that Xero users already have. Invoices are uploaded to Dex, all details extracted, and from there, users can create single or batch payment runs, send them through customizable workflows, and submit payments without having to leave the platform. Here's one from the QuickBooks changelog now. And as part of its new bank feed, QuickBooks released AI categorization and also AI-powered explanations that told users why it did what it did. However, some users would rather not have that explanation taking up space, so QuickBooks have now added the ability to hide it. QuickBooks tells me this is available in America, coming to the UK soon, but one of my QuickBooks using contacts tells me that he has it in his UK system. Thank you, Mark. And finishing the Intuit flurry, this one definitely just in America for now. They've launched a new Intuit Business Credit Card with features such as automated receipt management and cash back on your purchases. No word on whether that's coming to the UK, but if banks and other fintechs can be accounting software, why can't accounting software return the favour? And finally, news from mid-market cloud tool Accounts IQ, who've partnered with Paraglide to integrate AI agents that automate accounts receivable conversations, helping to automate the collections process. And that's your lot for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you'd be kind enough to like, subscribe, or follow, that would be fantastic. I am away for 2 weeks now. So the next video you get will land on the 20th of August. I hope you'll survive without me. Until then, you'll always have accountingweb.co.uk. See you soon. Bye for now.